Alrighty, hello there. Today I'm going to be showing you the 7 opening principles. I'm going to teach you them, and then I'm going to show you some of the openings that I use that follow those said principles. The very first principle is to move 1 or 2 pawns to the central squares. So these are the central squares. The center is the thing that you are aiming for in chess. If you can manage to control the center pretty solidly in the opening, then you are already off to a good start and you have pretty good winning chances. Now, Mendenhall, for you specifically, what I noticed in your games is that you played, this is one of your favorite moves, H4, the Kadas opening. The only reason they gave it a name is because they had to. This is a trash move for two main reasons. First, it controls this square. This square is completely useless right now. It literally does nothing right now. It's completely useless. Second idea, rook that can come here or here to control the center squares. That is the main idea. Or, let me go back. Already flawed because black can just play d5 and the bishop controls that square, completely shutting down the idea. And if you try to play it anyway, white will make this trade, and if you don't already know, rooks are worth 5 points, and bishops and knights are worth 3 points. So that trade already gives black, an advantage from move 3, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. That's why this move is bad. Let's go back to the two moves that actually do follow this principle. d4 and e4. e4 puts an undefended pawn in the center. I mean, it's not like it can be very easily attacked, because if you try to do knight f6, which is called the Elegans defense, you can just attack, and then after here, you can cement. You have this nice little pawn chain here that you can cement with something like c6 or knight f3 to defend the two pawns, etc., etc. So you already have a really nice position here. So e4 isn't necessarily creating a weakness. In fact, Bobby Fischer said that it was best by test, and part of this reason is because it controls these two squares. It opens up, I can't draw. It opens up lines for your pieces, and it prepares d4. And if black plays a random move like a6, then d4, and look at that. That's really nice. If you play d4 on the other hand, then it doesn't really prepare this move as much, because just play d5, and then e5, and then e4 is immediately stopped. You could try playing the center game, which looks like this, but it's trash, and I will explain why later. So, that is why principle number 1 is important to follow. Let's move on to the second principle. The second principle is to develop your pieces and try to gain some kind of advantage as you do. So let's go back to e4, e5. What do you think would be a good move for white now learning this new principle? I'm going to give you a second. Okay, so here are some moves that you could have considered. You could have considered bishop c4. You could have considered knight c3. You could have considered d3 or d4 or knight f3 or f4 or f3. There's a lot of them that kind of try to make progress in some way, but knight f3 is definitely the best move. This move is played by grandmasters, and this is the best move in the position. The reason why is it follows both of the principles. It doesn't follow both principles, but what it does is it controls these two key squares. It attacks the knight, which gains a tempo and develops peace. And after you develop the bishop, then you can castle next turn. And you can see just why knight f3 is just superior to all of those other moves in every single way. So what do you think would be a good response for black here, knowing the first and second principle? I'm gonna give you a second. All right, the best move here is knight c6. Developing while trying to challenge white. This knight is fighting white for control of these squares. That is why this is by far the best move. If you said d6, sure, it defends, but after d4, white just owns the center. Because even if you make this trade, look at this. White just owns the center right now. I mean, he controls so many squares here. Yeah, this center pawn is farther advanced than this one, so that's why this position is better. And as you can tell by the valuation, white is indeed slightly better in this position. And also white has a developed piece. So yeah. Let me think here. So then the very next principle that also supports this knight f3 part is knights before bishops. That is definitely an important principle to learn and understand, because another move that is not quite so popular but still a move you can make is bishop c4. So you might be asking, why isn't this a good move? Why is it an automatic draw? Why is this not as good as knight f3? It's developing a piece, it's taking control of this center square specifically, it's hitting on f7. Why is this not good? Well, the thing is that after knight f6, defending or attacking this pawn here, because this pawn is undefended, and so is this bishop, knight c3, okay, then black is just kind of now just taking charge with his knights. He's hitting on all of these squares and he's taking charge. Okay, knight c6 is definitely not the best move here. Maybe, let me think of a better move here. How about c6? Nope, that's not good. Yeah, so knight f6 is definitely the best move here. Because, I mean, look at these knights. They're, as I have just said, they're just taking control of the center. Whereas this bishop is just really not quite doing that quite as well. So that's why you should save the bishops for after the knights. Let me give you an example for the Ruy Lopez. This is the Ruy Lopez right here. Knight f3, knight f6, this position we've seen before. And then bishop b5. This, on the other hand, is really good because this is pressuring the knight. And through the tactic of removing the defender, if white does nothing, then remove and you pick up the pawn, and now you're a pawn. This position is actually bad because black can win it back with queen e7. Or, no. Actually, this position is still good. But my point is that this is good because now you can castle next turn, you're applying pressure. This is good. Bishops were meant to do this. They were not meant to do this, they were meant for applying pressure, as all other pieces are. This is definitely good. This is much better than developing the bishop first, as you could see. So then, moving on to the next principle. Principle number 4, castle early so that you do not have to worry about your king later in the game. Going back to the Ruy Lopez. The Ruy Lopez does exactly this. Literally, you can castle on the next move. So, I mean, that's why the Ruy Lopez is kind of so good. I mean, you might be scared of the Sicilian, but honestly, you can still castle early. If you play something like this. This isn't necessarily good for white. Maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah, as you can see now, you can castle, or maybe another different opening. That's another e4 opening that does this. This is called the Italian right here. And you might be asking, I thought this bishop on c4 was bad. Well, now it's actually good because now white has a new threat of coming here to converge on the square. Once black plays this, of course. Or once black plays that, of course. But yeah, that's why knights prefer bishops. And you should castle. You should definitely castle. Let me show you an example of where you don't castle. f6 here. Why is this bad? Well, it's because black instead should have developed and tried to get his pieces out. Watch the following sequence of moves. Just admire. Whoops, I messed up. Hold on, give me a second. And then good move here? Give me a second to think. But as you can see here, oh, it's mate in 1. I'm being stupid right now. Here we go. But as you can see, as you just saw, let's go all the way back. Instead of castling, he was heck bent on trying to defend his pawn, but that didn't work out quite so well for him, huh? That is one of the few reasons why you should definitely castle as quickly as you can, because there are a lot of opening traps that will punish you severely if you do not castle, and that is one of the few opening traps. It's called the Damiano defense. Yeah, just a side note, if someone ever plays this against you, you can absolutely obliterate them. Next opening principle. Don't move your queen out too early, because if you do, then you will lose, because you should focus on developing your other pieces and castling and taking control of the center. Let's go to this e4, e5. Queen h5. This is the wayward queen attack. You'll see a lot of beginners play this, and if they play this, then you can laugh in their face, because you will play this correctly. So, alright, so so you already know 5 of the principles, so what do you think would be a good move here? I'm going to give you a second. Okay, so, what is white doing with his queen h5 move? Part of being good at chess is asking, what is he doing? He's attacking this pawn. He's attacking this pawn. You may have considered g6, but this loses the game instantaneously, as you can see, because it takes here and takes. And even though black has this slight little bit of counterplay, king d8, and white is perfectly safe here, and black is just losing. He's attacked the white queen is attacking this. The white queen is attacking this. Yeah, this is just crumbling. But that's only if you respond incorrectly. If you respond correctly, you can absolutely Shrek black. So, what was the proper move here? The proper move was knight c6. Develops a piece, defends the pawn, so that the queen cannot take it. So, as I previously said, the queen is now converging on this square. It is attacking this pawn. So, adding another defender. Piling on. Now, threatening checkmate. If you play this, you will lose instantaneously, as you can tell by the bar here. Because even though it seems like a nice move, developing while attacking, you lose, and it's checkmate. I guarantee you that at least once you will make this mistake. I have made this mistake at least 3 times. Obviously, when I was a bit less far ahead in chess than I am now. So, you need to play the proper move here. As you can see, this position is right now, gives a slight advantage to black. So what would be good here? Well, funny enough, this move is now actually good here, because the queen is starting to run out of squares. It may be giving him a positive valuation, but that's only because the engine is dumb. Yeah, we're gonna say it's that. The queen is running out of squares. The queen cannot come here. 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 The queen can most definitely not come here because of a tactic. And the queen can also definitely not come here because of a tactic. So, the queen is going to you're most likely going to see the queen come back here. Now, once again, trying to get this convergence thing going. But now, as you can see, now the position favors black again, because now just knight c6, and now you are hitting this pawn. You are also hitting on this square, preparing d5 in the future, perhaps. You are one step closer to castling, because just bishop here and then castles. This move is just good in every way, and it's defended by the knight. And there's really no real way to do this. If white plays d3, trying to get this bishop move in, which is solid, don't be scared. Just play bishop g7. Bishop g5, castles, and you have a solid position here. You can later kick the bishop away with h6 later, if this pin really does start to get annoying. But yeah, this position is perfectly fine. You have 3 developed pieces, and black only has 2. You have a much you have a much stronger center here, considering your pieces, and white has a really passive setup now, and this queen on f3 is also blocking this knight from coming to its f3 square. Now the knight is going to have to come out this way, which is a bit less natural than here. So yeah, you can see why bringing out the queen early is just far inferior than just developing your pieces as normal. So, the sixth principle, 2 more left. The sixth one is do not move a piece twice before castling. Now, it is important to realize that you can defy opening principles sometimes when you know what you're doing. Let me give you an example of the Italian. Here, it is okay to do this. This is a well-known attack. It's not great, but it's okay. You can actually trick a lot of beginners into falling for this convergence here. If they don't see it and just play d6, then yeah, they're going to lose because now their queen and rook are forked, and now they're running out of options here. So queen here and rook. Yeah, simple as that. But really, in any other situation, this is not really a fantastic move because you're moving a piece twice. Instead, you could just castle, and as you can see, it's giving, I think it's giving a negative valuation because you can take this. So maybe knight f3. Yeah, it likes knight f3 better. The engine likes knight f3 better. Now, next move, you can castle, and then you don't have to worry about your king safety later. If you move a piece twice, going for this attack here, then if white knows how to defend properly, then black knows how to defend properly, then black will be just fine here. The proper way to defend here is actually d5, giving up a pawn. And if takes, then the best way to play this is knight a5, attacking this knight here. If check, then here, and then, yeah, and then it kind of just goes in that. And as you can see, oh wait, this particular line in particular is not great for white, but as you can see, now black has the advantage. Because, oh wait, because now this pawn is free. That's why black has the advantage. But yeah, you can see how going for this one move threat may not be the best move for you. That is pretty much the point here. The seventh principle, and the very last one, is, let me find it. Don't block other pieces' development, or I can't talk today. Don't block pieces or pawns' development. Here is what I mean. Knight f3, okay? We already talked about how knight c6 is by far the best response by like a huge margin, but another move that you might have considered and I've seen a lot of players play is bishop d6. Bishop d6, okay? Why is this move bad? Well, it blocks this pawn here. Now the pawn cannot come forward, which blocks in this bishop. Now this bishop is going to become harder to develop. Now the only way to develop it is here and here, also known as a fianchetto. If you don't know what that looks like, let me show you. This is a fianchetto. The bishop takes control of this long diagonal, which can be good in certain situations, but it takes a bit longer, and it focuses more on controlling the side of the board, or the bishop here, it's focusing on controlling the center from a long-range distance, because the bishop is a long-range piece. But this isn't always the most solid way to do this, and as you can see, black is just favored here, because, like, bishop e3, not bishop e3, that's not a good move. How about d4? Yeah, d4 is good here, just striking at the center, and I mean, this also is defying the knights before bishops here as well. It's also breaking that principle, which is another reason why this position is superior for white. And yeah, just don't block stuff like that. And also, like with queen f3, for example, which is called the Apollyon attack. As you can see, now this position is significantly favoring black because it's blocking the knight from developing. The idea is to play this, but all black has to do is just play knight of 6. Just hit this here. This isn't really a real threat. Just bring out the other knight. Oh, knight. Now the knight has to come out here. Oh, just come here. Just prevent d4 altogether. Yeah. And then this position is pretty solid for it. Castles. Yeah. Yeah. This position is actually kind of a draw, but you can see how it inhibits the development. From a human standpoint, Queen f3 is a bad move because it inhibits the development of the knight. You should not do that. And those are the 7 opening principles. Thank you for watching. I might make another video on how to... what would I make another video about? I'm probably going to make a video about how to find a good move. Yeah, how to make a plan. That's probably going to be my next move, because you might be playing random moves like h4 and knight knight h3 because you don't have any idea what you're doing, but you need a plan, you need a goal, otherwise you're going to play bad moves. So that's what the next video is going to be about. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.